But thanks very much for your perspective anyway. I think we are going to be making contact with the minister in a matter of a few seconds. We were finally able to make contact with him because, as I said, from yesterday onwards he would be bombarded, and I believe we are getting the minister on the line with us, Member of Parliament for Arima Education. Minister, everyone is calling him this morning to get a perspective. Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning, Fazil.
First of all, a couple of very, very quick queries because already we're getting questions. We got a call from a parent just a little while ago asking about the zoning process, asking what is the criteria for children being zoned, and what is briefly, can you give a synopsis of that situation?
Yes, we need to look at this from two perspectives. First of all, students or the parents have the right of choice. So parents have the right to choose. However, the exam is based on merit. In other words, children are placed in accordance with their performance in the examination. Students are given 4 choices, or let's say parents are given 4 choices. If the student marks do not qualify that student for any of the 4 choices, then that student is placed in a school nearest to where he or she lives. And that is the whole reason behind it. But again, let me repeat, parents have a right to choose, and they are given 4 choices. Some parents will choose all 4 schools that are of an equal standing, and therefore the mark that the child would make would not qualify him to be placed in any of those 4 schools. And as a result, that child is placed in a school that is nearest to where he lives.
And Minister, you mentioned prior to the exam that all students will be placed, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm following on a report from Elizabeth Williams in Tobago on TV6 last. I don't know if you saw it or you are aware that there's a suggestion that some students will be required to rewrite the exam in Tobago. Is that correct?
And in Trinidad also. Again, I need to explain this. Students whose score was below 30% and who did not write the exam previously, those students have been offered a chance to resit the exam in 2018. And I'm choosing my words correctly. Those students have been offered a chance to rewrite the exam. In many cases, lots of those students scored not only below 30%, but yesterday a parent came to see me, and when she brought the report, the child scored 8 in language arts and 2 in mathematics. Obviously, that child needs a little more attention. And those students are now being offered another chance to write the exam, providing that that child is under the age of 13. If the child is above the age of 13, then the child moves on to secondary school.
And Minister, are you comfortable with the entire SCA situation from common entrance days to now, and the level of emphasis, anxiety, exaltation, yes, but also aggravation? Are you comfortable with this system?
I don't think any parent or any person who is involved in education will be totally comfortable. However, we operate what is referred to as a dual system of education, in which the churches play an important part. In fact, before 1962, we had most of the secondary schools were owned and operated by the churches. When it was decided that we're going to spread the education and we're going to allow our students to have more access to education, the common entrance exam was introduced in 1961. Incidentally, for you, I wrote the first common entrance exam. However, because the churches own the school, or the boards own the school, the boards are allowed 20%. And this causes some anxiety because a parent would see the marks of a child that is lower than the marks of a child who was in place in another school, yet this child has been placed in an international school. But this is because of the 20% facility that has been afforded to the principals. And this has caused a large amount of anxiety, but not this alone, but there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, because it is a high stakes exam. And everyone wants his or her child to go to what they refer to as the prestige schools. We are working hard, assiduously, to ensure that all our schools come up to a certain level. However, we need the support, the active support of the parents in this exercise.
A final question, Minister, and we do appreciate the fact that you are making yourself available to speak to us because everybody's trying to get a perspective from you this morning. In the aftermath of this exam, and we're talking about getting all schools, secondary level, up to a standard that the prestige thing wouldn't become an issue. Do you see that happening at all, or is it because of the situation as it stands, people will still, for many, many years to come, aspire towards the prestige school environment?
Well, it is still my hope that we can have all schools up to a certain acceptable level. Perhaps, again, because parents have a choice. You could have the parents whose homes are what you call print-rich environments, that their students will be better prepared. However, it is important for us to ensure that all our secondary schools, and indeed all our primary schools, operate up to a certain standard where we will be able to afford our students a high-quality education.
Minister, thanks very much again for taking the time to speak with us. Education Minister Anthony Garcia.